I feel it's so ignored, like, for women who have irregular periods or women who have, flow that is more than normal. Everybody is like, they don't come out and discuss it as much. Stop hiring women in workplace. None of that. It's just so that you normalize the conversation. Yeah, I mean, it is hard. I mean, I'm also on like multiple shows where sometimes you don't have accessibility to trailers and vanity vans and washrooms and stuff. These taboos, these stigmas, all of this, I feel like we have in our own minds and we need to start normalizing it. I went for a run the other day and that video was all over and I got trolled for my body, my way of running. I'm in my 40s and I feel like the most amazing thing about being in your 40s is that you become far more confident. You feel far more beautiful even when people think you're flawed. Find marriage in friendship and you find friendship in marriage, you're already on a great wicket. Whereas with me, I try and avoid putting them on social media, so you won't get to see their faces and stuff very much, but that's the privacy I want to give them. Media houses have been very respectful, and every time you ask them that, hey, you can photograph me but not the kids, they're all very, very nice. When we go out there and demand for what's ours, and when we go out there and make all the difference, is when the change will really happen.
Hello and welcome to Bollywood Bubble. I am Akriti Bagla and today I am with a personality, I can say, who never fails to amaze us. Neha Dhupia, hello and welcome to Bollywood Bubble.
Thank you very much.
Why do I say you never fail to amaze us? Because this initiative, which obviously I want to know more from you, what came in your mind that, okay, we should now raise awareness about periods to this extent?
I feel that, that voice is always there, that you need to raise awareness. You go to different places, like, why aren't people talking about it enough? Why is it still a taboo? Why is, talking about menstrual health something that we are still doing in corners? I'm not saying that, everything needs to be, you need to go to and start screaming from rooftops.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that every voice can make a difference.
Yeah.
And I feel like women like you and me are privileged that we have choices, whether, we want to use tampons or cups or towels. We have those options and we have the means to actually get them. But what about, women in rural areas who don't even have that? What about the taboos? What about the stigmas that come with, you have your period, to aise karna hai, ya phir waise karna hai. So I just feel that the Go Flow run that we've come up with, that's me and my partner, Anita Lobo, one part of it is menstrual health. Another part of it is health as well, right?
Yeah.
Women's health. So the minute you're healthy, you're going to get your period on time. The minute you know that you're getting your period on time and everything else is fine, you know that you're a healthy body. And it's all got everything to do with having, the perfect balance between a mind and body.
Yeah.
And the best way, the easiest way to do it is, of course, putting those shoes on and going out for a run. So we combined a marathon with, menstrual health, and we've called it the Go Flow Run. And we're so proud of it that we're 1 month away and we're hoping as many number of women, and this is my call out to as many number of women who can come and run this marathon. And it's not about running. 3 kilometers, you can walk. 5 kilometers, if you want to walk, jog, you can do that. You can jog 10 kilometers, and it's a marathon. It's everyone's pace at their own level. We're not saying it's a race or aapko aake jeetna hai.
True.
Your victory lies in showing up, and we want people to do that.
But do you feel, Neha, medically and mentally also, there is a certain lack of awareness around the conversation around periods? Like, example I'll give you. लोग है ना periods बोलने से भी कतराते हैं कि okay, what will people think around us? Do you think this lack of awareness also raises a lot of issues, not only health-wise but mentally as well?
Yes, of course. I feel it's so ignored, like, for women who have irregular periods or women who have, flow that is more than normal. Everybody is like, they don't come out and discuss it as much.
Yeah.
It's not, it's almost like it'll correct itself. These are not things that correct themselves, or we don't talk enough about, the importance of menstrual hygiene.
Yeah.
Menstrual health is one. Menstrual hygiene is another thing altogether. The importance of the fact that it needs to be spoken about and education needs to be given at the right time, and the minute a woman kind of gets pregnant, then everybody is like, oh yeah, she's pregnant, they're going to have a baby. But it's everything that a woman goes through or a woman's body goes through is actually preparation for something else that's yet to come, that's probably bigger. So, or women who are perimenopausal, we don't talk enough about that, or what they go through, or the fact that you can have a PMS, and sometimes there are varied degrees of that. Or then there are some women who may want to take a day off from work just because they have their period and they're in a lot of pain. So these are not conversations that are had enough.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm not saying that this is a propaganda that we need to go out there and sign, and HR departments need to sit up and look at it. What I'm saying is that if somebody needs a day off, maybe give it to them at and that doesn't mean the workload or the work or the kind of work needs to change, or the fact that you stop hiring women in workplace. None of that. It's just so that you normalize the conversation.
True.
Because if you're allowed to take a day off because you're having a body ache because of fever, you should be allowed to take a day off because you're having a body ache because you're going to get your period. But it all depends, and not everyone wants it off.
True.
Some people, it's again different strokes for different people, have different thresholds also.
Neha, do you feel, you have a son, right?
Yeah.
Who is sitting here right now.
Yeah.
How do you plan to educate him and even your girl about this whole conversation around menstrual?
By having a conversation, by having a candid chat, by educating them. It is very important. I mean, women are getting their periods so early on in life.
Yeah.
Girls are getting their periods as early as, there's a statistic that says that as early as the age of 8.
Yeah.
And whether it's urban or rural areas, imagine when it happens in rural areas where you don't even have toilets and facilities, where girls still have to sit at home and not go to school and take those many days off. Imagine how much further back it pushes them in school also. So, these conversations are very important to be had. And beyond that, I feel when you get like-minded women to come forward, run with you in big bunches, that they are out there looking after their health and running for a cause that makes a big difference.
But Neha, you have worked in industry for a while now, right? How has the working conditions evolved, if I ask? Because, there have been several actresses who have spoken, okay, back then we didn't have vanity, we were behind trees changing when we were chumming and working alongside.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard. I mean, I'm also on multiple shows where sometimes you don't have accessibility to trailers and vanity vans and washrooms and stuff. And then you're I'm on an adventure-based reality show where you're on the road all the time. But that doesn't mean that you stop working. We're all unstoppable in our own ways. We figure it out. Like I said, it's how you deal with it. And, you have to have this kind of unstoppable force, a way of figuring it out. What the sad part is that what is a one-off or a story or an experience for us, when I was on this shoot, this happened to me, is probably everyday life for a lot of women. So, what is a story for me, or what is being on a show or a one-off for me, is probably everyday life for people. Yeah. I mean, for women. So, that part is something that we need to change. और हमको जहाँ तक लगता है ना कि नहीं, हमारी आवाज उठाने से क्या ही तो फर्क पड़ जाएगा. I feel हर आवाज से फर्क पड़ता है. हर आवाज से, every voice can make a difference. Every registration, even for our run over here, we've associated ourselves with Center for Catalyzing Change. So we also feel that it's made such a big difference by associating ourselves with bodies that are so grassroots at making a difference and getting whether it's Dr. Nauzer, whether it's Yasmin Karachiwala, whether it's just getting associated with women who have voices like Natasha, Soha, lots of other people who've come forward to help. And we want more and more runners to sign up. First is look after yourself. And because you can look after yourself, you look after other people.
But Neha, you have worked with some great male co-stars as well. Are they the one who are supportive towards women during periods? Or is it uncomfortable still to have male co-stars around when you are
I mean, it's as much information as you want to offload. Yep. So if you're close enough, you can tell someone that, hey, listen, I'm on my period and I need some time off. Or if you could just, go the extra mile or do this for me or do that for me. And people are very, very helpful and people are very, very kind. These taboos, these stigmas, all of this, I feel like we have in our own minds and we need to start normalizing it. Today we're giving away kits in our for our press day. We're not wrapping them up in black polythene bags. We're not putting it in newspapers. We want to put it up in a transparent bag and give it to you. So it's okay.
But yeah, you know, बचपन से हम सुनते आ रहे हैं, there are many restrictions imposed on a woman when she's on periods, right? In what kind of household have you grown, and has it ever happened that okay, suddenly you are charming and maybe your dad or a brother or a male figure is getting the need for you?
You know, I've grown up in a household where I've also been raised in a 4G home where conversations were had in a very normal way. You know, I would find most amount of comfort in talking to my mother, but that's my relationship with her. But having said that, it was not a taboo, or there were no stigmas attached to, you know, someone or a woman having her period. But those are the houses that we've been raised in. But we were still not like going out of our way to have these conversations. Now it's different. Like, you know, I have a son and daughter, and it's not like my conversations, maybe the technicality of a certain conversation may be different, but apart from that, if he questions me, it's not like I'm going to shy away from saying that, hey, you can't talk to me about it. And I feel like whether it's period education, sex education, when the time is right, you need to have the conversations. Don't delay them.
But Neha, you know, also some important conversations you have had in your career is about the body positivity and the nasty comments sometimes as an actress that is passed on you for your looks. Over the time, what are some of the mean things you have heard, and how have you sort of dealt with it, and you have now been like, it's okay, no matter what people say, I'll be what it is?
You know, I'm in my 40s, and I feel like the most amazing thing about being in your 40s is that you become far more confident.
Yeah.
You feel far more beautiful even when people think you're flawed. Because I've lived so much of my life, I have so many stories to tell, I have so many adventures I've been through that make me confident, that make me enriched, and they make me the person I am. Now, after that, if people have opinions about me, I get affected by very little. I would get affected by people who matter, but those people, after a point, don't really matter because they're just writing. उनके पास keyboard है, वो कुछ भी लिख रहे हैं, उनको लिखने दो. But that's the sense of maturity I have. I worry for the younger ones. I worry for the impressionable ones. I worry for the ones who actually get disturbed by comments like this. And that's where the worry of social media lies. Not when, you know, someone like me, like I went for a run the other day and that video was all over.
Yeah.
And I got trolled for my body, my way of running, whatever. But I was literally the only one who got up at 6:30 in the morning and went for a run. And I was doing something about my life. Do all the comments make a difference to a point where the next morning I don't get up and take the same route? Of course I'm going to do it. Because I know what it's done to me. I know that it's done me good. And I'm going to make a difference to myself. At the end of it, what's scary are the comments, you know, that are passed on minds that are impressionable. Mine is not an impressionable one because I feel like I've lived enough of my life, and the prime of my life I lived without too much judgment because in my 20s there was no social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I kind of lived 20s in the golden era where there were no like invasive camera phones and, you know, no social media, and you could be the person you are. So all the things that I experienced and all the adventures that I've had are stories that I can tell now that make me the person I am.
But Neha, do you feel there is a pressure on women to look a certain way, to get a certain role, and to be that perfect figure for the screen?
All the time, but things are changing now. You know, there is that, the pressure is also there. But now I feel, you know, as time passes by, things are changing, they are getting better. Women are changing, they're leading from the front. You know, they are breaking out of their own stereotypes. So, you know, that's what makes all the difference. And I feel like when we go out there and demand for what's ours, and when we go out there and make all the difference, is when the change will really happen.
But Neha, do you believe being unfiltered in today's time comes with a price to pay?
Well, I don't think, you know, having an opinion or having a voice has got anything to do with, as long as you're not hurting anyone or anyone's sentiments, it's absolutely okay. So today, if I feel that, you know, my unfiltered version this morning is to get up and, you know, raise a voice positively towards menstrual health and menstrual hygiene, I'm going to go ahead and do it because that's what I want to do.
Neha, like we spoke about now being unfiltered, how much is Angad supportive towards you during your low days? And yeah, menstrual health also comes with talking about mental health a lot. When was it that, okay, you were mentally low, maybe going through a postpartum and things changed for you?
He's very supportive, and I feel like if you find marriage in friendship and you find friendship in marriage, you're already on a great wicket. And for us, I feel like a lot of the stuff is unsaid, unspoken, and it's not like, there are questions asked. If you're feeling low, then who needs to fill in, and who's going to do this, and I'm not going to do this, or when you're going to work, who's going to like fill in. So it's just literally we're like that. And then if he has off days, or if he has on days when it comes to work, or he's going through his own issues, at that point I feel like I fill in, and for me, like, he completes me 100%. But this is a modern nuclear relationship.
True.
It's very different when you are living in a different setting, in different homes, and the support of your husband, whether it's postpartum, whether it's even PMS, all these things, they need to be sensitized towards it as well.
Neha, privacy has become a topic of concern right now. We are living in such time, like as an actors, do you feel like we need to be careful and draw a line? When are we papped? What are we putting out on social media when it comes to your kids? I mean, the culture, the paparazzi culture overall we are seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, different strokes for different folks, I always say.
Yeah.
Some people are okay with it, and I'm totally respectful of that, because every parent is different and every parent is amazing. Whereas with me, I try and avoid putting them on social media, so you won't get to see their faces and stuff very much. But that's the privacy I want to give them. Because tomorrow, if I want to stop them from using social media, or if I want to safeguard them, the way to do it is definitely by them not having too much of a social footprint. And I work towards that. And, if it happens, it happens. But it's been great. Like, friends have been very respectful. Media houses have been very respectful. And every time you ask them that, hey, you can photograph me, but not the kids, they're all very, very nice. So I just feel like it's a sum total of the kind of, parent you want to be. And I've been a little protective of them, on social media. Of course, in life, you always are, but even on social media.
Neha, to wrap this up, since it's an initiative every woman should come forward for, which female contemporaries do you want to collaborate with for this?
I'd love to collaborate with everyone, like from athletes to, we've had such a great run at the Olympics as well. From athletes, and I just feel like it's not just female contemporaries. Like, I want everyone to come forward and support, and support doesn't mean you come forward and run. You can also just support by being there for the women who are running. There's so many times that you see men who are running marathons and women who are standing on the side. We want to reverse that, and we want more and more people to come out, run, talk about menstrual health, talk about menstrual hygiene, and more importantly, look after themselves. Baby steps, but we're hoping to start.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Neha.
you very much.
You.
Hi everyone, I'm Neha Dhupia, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble.